Hello again and welcome to part 3 of this video series on Mendeley. In this video we're going to pick up where we left off with part 2 where we created your library, and in this video we're going to look at managing that particular library. So we're going to look at document details, folders and tags, making notes and annotations, searching and filtering, and some key settings that need to be put in place. Now we need to just check a few settings. The first one here on the Mendeley desktop version, go to Edit Settings next to All Documents. All you need to do is to make sure that Synchronize Attached Files is ticked and it's for the entire library. You can then take a peek at how much space you're using of the 2 GB personal web space that you are given with the free version of Mendeley. If you need more space, you can always upgrade. The next settings that we want to go to is in Tools and go to Options, and here you basically want to ensure that all 3 of these are ticked. What this means is you want to ask Mendeley to make a copy of all the documents that you've added to Mendeley and to save that basically as a backup on your hard drive. You also want to make sure that Mendeley will create a folder structure based on selected document details, as you can see here. And then the last one is to request Mendeley to rename often non-descriptive names that are often given to PDFs that we download from the internet, and instead documents will be named to file names that are more meaningful, like author, journal, year, title, etc. And you also want to make sure that you always synchronize regularly. Mendeley will automatically synchronize your library when you open up the desktop version, but it's a good habit to also click on the sync button. And syncing your library regularly basically allows Mendeley to back up your library online and to push any changes that you've made into cloud storage. Syncing also integrates any changes that you've made on other devices and it pulls it into your desktop version. And this basically allows you to be able to access your library anywhere, anytime, as I've mentioned previously. So Mendeley basically follows a 3-column structure, as you can see here, column 1, 2, and 3. The left-hand panel allows you to navigate through different filtering options for your library. When you click on any of the folders here in the left-hand pane, it will basically select certain documents that will be shown in the middle pane. The middle pane, if I click on all documents again, will show me my entire library. And the right hand side pane shows selected details for each of the references that I am going to be looking at. So when I click on any one of these, you can notice that the right hand side pane will show me the details about that article or about that document. We call this the metadata. And here you can see that you can also choose what type of document this is, whether it's a journal article, whether it's a book, conference proceedings, etc. On the next tab, you will find the notes, which I'll explain in a minute. And then lastly, you will find the contents tab, which at the moment is disabled. Now, just having a look at that left pane in a little bit more detail, you will notice that you have the different options. As I said before, you have literature search and you have Mendeley suggest over there where you can add documents to your library. The icons over here will indicate what type of document is sitting in your library. For example, this is an HTML web file and this is a PDF file. Then the green dot basically indicates that this document has not been read yet. Remember, I'm just populating my library from part 2 of these videos. On the left-hand side pane, you will see that this icon is for all the documents in your library. So when I want to actually filter through my entire library, I'm going to make sure that all documents is selected. The next icon is for recently added documents. So if you want to make sure that you are looking through the new documents, you might want to click on recently added. Recently read is the same principle, but obviously you would want to look at what has been read already and what has not been read yet. Your favorites is basically linked to these little stars over here, where you can favorite or tick some of the stars on documents that you want to quickly arrive at in the future when you want to sort. So when you click on favorites, it will basically only show you, or it will filter all the favorite documents where you've starred, where you've clicked the star. The next one, that little icon with a question mark, it says needs review, and I'm going to show you what that entails in a second. But that basically means that the details or the metadata that I refer to is not correct. So what Mendeley does is when you import a document into Mendeley, it tries to pick up the metadata like the author, the title, the year, etc. And sometimes it doesn't get it correct. So when it's not sure, it will highlight that document as needs review, and you then need to go and actually review it and manually check if it's correct, and sort of indicate to Mendeley that the details are correct. Next, you'll find my publications and unsorted. So sometimes if you haven't sorted documents in a particular folder, it will just appear in unsorted. Then you can actually create folders, which I will show you in our desktop version, and the groups that I think I've referred to in a previous video. Now the document metadata is this right-hand side column, as I've mentioned, and it's all the details about that particular document in your library. And when Mendeley is not sure and it indicates that it needs to be reviewed, you will need to check this metadata, and you will basically see this. Once you've checked it, you can click on details correct. And if you're not sure, you can click on search, and you can search the Mendeley catalog to see if there is a match for this particular article. And basically, you can also open up many documents at one time, because remember I said Mendeley is also a PDF reader, so you can toggle between more than one document at a time. In the metadata, you will see that there's also author keywords, and there's a URL where you could actually find this document online. And if you're not sure about the details of a particular document, if you have the archive ID or the DOI or the PubMed ID, you can basically put that into the metadata, and you can search for the details of this particular article. Files over here is where this document is located, saved on my computer, and it indicates that there's an actual file and not just a reference. I'm going to end this video here, and we will look at folders and tags in the following video clip.